my alarm went off. Remove those things and show them love. And it's okay to cry. I mean, I cried so much of happy tears. Oh, it was so amazing and so beautiful. Like, I don't know if I've ever... I mean, my first experience was more intense because I've had some amazing things since then. And amazing. Like, every day is more amazing. I don't want this to stop, and I know it won't, because I realized that it's all of us, but it's me. From my perspective, it's me. And I can show people that it's them from their perspective. But at the same time, it's all of us in one way. In the same way as this mirror I'm looking at is showing me Dana Alexander, which I'm looking at a mirror right now. You know, this mirror that I'm looking at is showing me Dan Alexander, but he's the body, the vehicle that I'm in. He's a great person. He's really astounding me looking at him, even though I'm supposedly him, although I am. I mean, I don't mean to sound weird, but it does, and I know. But one of the most magnificent experiences I could ever imagine that happened to me, not even, I don't know, today's Leo's birthday, March 22nd, yeah, awesome. But I mean, today is March 22nd, and this happened September 27th, so it wasn't even, that was month 9, it would say 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, so it's only been 7 months in 5 days. So I can only imagine what else is to come. I mean, I'm not a professional at lucid dreaming. I'm not a professional at astral projecting. But what I'm experiencing is something that seems like those things and more, but just not how they, when I try to look into them and study them, you know, different people that focus on those things specifically are doing them way more intently, because also they have more time to do it. So the time that I have and I'm devoting to this stuff is almost every moment of every day. Even while I'm working, I'm thinking about what's going on. Like, I'm always conscious every moment of every day. I've totally learned how to control my thoughts and my emotions. I haven't been presented with a challenge that I can overcome emotionally. I mean, I do get worked up and worried about people, but it'll take me a little bit longer, like when I thought my daughter was missing, stuff like that. But that's, of course, but you know, I have to take this seriously too. Is learning the difference between knowing that I'm a spiritual being having a human experience and still valuing my human experience. I mean, I'm not going to say that, you know, my kids are my kids, of course. I am my parents' son, of course. But at the same time, I'm more than that, and they're more than that. I'm not saying that, I mean, they are more than just my parent. You know, they aren't just my parent. They happen to just be, you know, when you buy a car is your car, but that's something you choose to do. You have it, you choose to go through the act of having sex, intercourse, whatever you want to call it, and a child is created out of it. So you choose to do that. You know, the soul, the spirit, the entity that takes that body that you do have a lot of help, say-so, guidance, you know, stuff to do with as they grow, that is also an extension of you, and if you don't get that, I don't see how people don't get that. So you build something and then you let it go. Say you start a motor and you let it go. You know, you can guide it along its way, or you can just let it crash into something. They say a self-propelled lawnmower or something, I guess. You know, and you want your kid to grow up and go in a straight line. You sort of guide it. You know, if not, it'll go off course, of course. And sometimes you have to try to get it back on course. But if it's a little too broken and the steering gets a little funky, you got to take it back to the shop. You know, and you got to start over. And that's where the stage that a lot of the world is in right now. And I didn't mean to use a stupid comparison, but I tried to make it a simple one so it was understandable. But anyway, during this meditation, you will feel so many beautiful things happening inside your body, outside your body, from space and the universe itself. It's the best, and it wasn't guided. It was guided by my mind voice, and it didn't even sound like me. Huh. Go figure that one out. How does that work? How does a mind voice sound different than yours? And I wasn't trying to talk like Donald Duck or something like that. It was just the voice in my head sounded different than it usually does. It was awesome. It was beautiful. It was such a beautiful thing. And the music wasn't just the music playing. The music was that music plus the music in my heart. And I know it sounds cheesy and corny to say, like, romantic sort of things like that, but it doesn't matter. Life is worth love. Life is for us to be passionate about and care about each other. It's just like a person looks at a flower and smells it and says, oh, how beautiful. What is wrong with that person when they look at the next person they see and don't see how beautiful that person is? Whether it's a flower that, didn't bloom all the way, or a dog that isn't as cute as the kind of dog they like. Say it's just a different species of dog. It's still a beautiful thing. It's still a living thing, a living creature even. It doesn't even have to be people. Look at everything that's alive. Things that we do eat and chop, like grass and stuff like that they keep growing back. Those are things that are trying to become a greater thing, and they are becoming greater things by the animals and the species that eat them, us, by becoming part of our body and part of our working. We are parts of the earth. We are extensions of the earth, and we know that. I mean, if we don't get that, we have to start getting it. But we're extensions of those things. They want us. They're there to provide us things. Like all the things that grow have some kind of meaning. So if we figure them out, that's what we should be doing. We should be studying what's here on Earth, not what's out in space, because what's out in space, we can go there eventually, and we'll be able to do it knowingly, with know-how from the universe telling us how. I know that sounds sort of weird, but the people that are thinking it now are just thinking ahead. They're not starting you got to start with addition before you start doing multiplication, you know what I mean? So what they're trying to do is, they think, in the theory, of course, they know addition and multiplication, but you don't jump from, in theory, you need to learn more about our inside, our people, our inside our body, our spirituality, before we start going to outer space and looking for other life forms that know way more than we do as people, and we think we're superior. And it's not. There's astral entities that you can learn from as a human being just by tuning into it. And that sounds, it starts getting heebie-jeebie and like science, like not even scientific, but just how is that even possible? I don't know. But how does sound travel? How does light from the sun and the moon, and how does that shit work? It's that thing. It's that thing, and you can learn how to use it yourself. But this meditation will definitely help people start feeling that, along with some of the other things that I'm going to be showing people. So I love you. Goodbye.